Welcome back, boys and girls. In the middle of this crazy pandemic time, there are things I'm really grateful to my Lord. We get to spend a lot of time with my family, and this year I finally get to spend my birthday with my family. Except for Rachel, she's working in the hospital. I pray that God will keep her and her colleagues safe. And for this year's birthday, my family got what I wanted. It's a new scope. It's by Burris Fullfield E1 4.5 to 14 power by 42 millimeter, and it's got long range MOA reticle. Let's open it up. I really like Burris scope. They're priced very fairly and they're very dependable. I have 3 Burris scopes and I never had any problems, not even with the zeroing. It always holds zero very well. And now I got my 4th one. Now this scope usually runs, the MSRP is about 400, and in Midway USA they were selling it for about 350. But my son was able to find this one for 190 bucks at Amazon. Boroscope comes with forever warranty, meaning there's no questions asked. If you drop it, if you run over with a car, or if you never even bought it, as long as you have the scope with you, they will replace you with a new one or they will fix it for you. Let's open it up. All right, let's open the box. All right, there it is. Pretty nice, eh? Well, I can see the label with the forever warranty sign on it. It's the scope that I wanted. It's actually very nice. It's not too bulky, it's not heavy. So it'll be perfect for my 7mm mag. And I'm hoping this will give me up to 500 yard shooting. Okay, as I mentioned, it's got a power from 4.5 to 14, and it comes with long range MOA reticle, and it comes also with side parallax adjustment, meaning you could adjust from 50 yards all the way out to infinity. So here you could see past 500 yards, you see infinity there. So, and let's open the caps. Yeah, it's got pretty good positive clicks. Now you could adjust with this turret for the MOA, but I don't like to mess with this. I better use the reticle, because when you're hunting, you really don't have time to mess with this. You just want to know what distance and where to put and pull the trigger. That's what I did with Montana elk hunt last year in October, and I nailed it at 550 yards. So that really works. This weighs almost 1 pound. That's 15.88 ounces. I'm gonna be swapping the new scope with my Lupo scope on my Weatherby 7mm Remington Magnum. And with this scope, this is 9 power at 100 yards. On a good day, I get 1/4 group. So this is really good scope. I like Lupos. But last time I took it 300 yards, it was just under power. Power 9, I just felt like it wasn't enough. And as you know, 7mm Remington is capable of 1,000 yards. I'm not saying I can, but I'm hoping I could get a decent accuracy up to 500 yards with a new scope. So, and then as for this scope, I'm gonna put it on my 338 Federal, because I only have power 5 on that. So I'm gonna upgrade that with this scope. And then with that scope, off of my 338, I'm gonna put that on my 300 Blackout and replace it with Bushnell scope, because I don't really like Bushnell scope. I had to readjust it twice, so I don't really trust it. Anyway, thanks to pandemic, I'm stuck in home with a lot of time, so I'm just gonna enjoy the day by swapping some scopes. That's my plan. I made my own portable vice grip so I could move this around and work on my own rifles. And I put a padding here so it won't damage my gun. And I like to mount my own scopes just to make sure everything is nice and tight. And I also want to make sure my crosshair is straight. If it's tilted to the left, the bullet will drop to the left. If it's tilted to the right, it will drop to the right. So you have to make sure the crosshair is also straight. You're also going to need torque wrench instead of bubbles. The torque wrench will make sure you have proper poundage without stripping your screws, because if you strip it, then you're in big trouble. So you're definitely going to need that. And as for the bubble, that's going to help you to set your cross straight. Now, before you set your cross or tighten your screws, you want to make sure your eye relief is good. So you want to look through the scope and make sure where it's good for you. And also you want to make sure this doesn't get overlapped here. And if you have this overlap and tighten, this could be a problem. So you don't want it to overlap, but at the same time, you want to make sure you have a good eye relief. You want to make sure both of your bubbles are leveled at the same. It doesn't have to be exactly in the middle, but it has to be in the same position where the line is. Make sure they're both at the same position. And then when you tighten the screws, you don't want to tighten the one side first. Then the scope's going to be tilting to the side that you tighten it. So you want to tighten one and go cross, one, cross. So you want to do cross, cross, cross. And you don't want to tighten it all at once. You want to go a little bit tight and then go across, and a little bit tight and go across, and go kind of forth and back. And it should be fine. You want to make sure both of your bubbles are in the same position. And as you tighten it, first you want to finger tighten everything. And then even though ring requires about 28 to 32 pounds, I'm going to start with, I don't know if you could see this or not, but I'm going to start with 22 right now. So go really slow. There you go. Cross. Cross. Yep, my bubbles are still in the same position. Go real slow. Go across. Go across. There we go. Now I'm going to increase the poundage to about 27 pounds. And then I'm going to go slow, and then I'm going to retighten it again. There we go. Cross. Now I have it set at 32. Same thing, go slow. Tighten it up, go across. Same thing. Do the same in the back. Bubble is just a little bit off, but I think I'll be okay. Now for the proper MOA measurement, it's usually set at the highest power, which is 14 here. But sometimes you see a scope that would have an indication like at power 12. But without the indication, I believe it should be at the highest power, which is 14. It looks beautiful. All right, the cross is nice and straight. The image is really clear, and I like it. Next, I want to talk about how to bullseye a scope without any tools. What I do is I set up a bullseye about 20-30 yards away, and then look through my barrel after removing the bolt, and then look up to my scope, and then make adjustment as necessary. Right now it's aiming way too low. All right, I'm bullsided. Let's take a look. Let's look through the barrel, make sure it's still center. Yep, it's in the center. And then look through the scope, and it's in the center as well. So we should be good for the bullsiding. I wish I could show you how this thing shoots, but because of COVID-19, the range is closed, and that's just gonna have to wait. But my wife baked me a beautiful ricotta cheesecake, and my son decorated on the top, and we are having elk steak, elk backstrap, and the tenderloin steak for my birthday tonight. My wife baked the ricotta cheesecake, and my son Joseph decorated. I couldn't be happier. That's a perfect cake. There is a steak. And lastly, like always, thank God for what you have. Enjoy your life with what you got. But mostly, remember, even in the hard time, there's always something that we could thank God for. See ya.